Hey, you already know what time it is. It's your boy Mac B. Back at it, back in the building once again. Episode 57 is upon us, and I am so excited for today's guest. This is my OG, longtime player partner, my original Wody. Countrified is in the building. What's up, Playboy?
How you doing, buddy? Oh, man. So glad to be here, Mac. Real.
Hey, man.
I'm so glad to be here with you, man. We've been friends for a long time, man, and it's love, bro, and it's always been. And I'm just grateful for what you got going, and then I'm just blessed to be able to be a part of it. Just come in, chop it up with you a little bit, and just be here, man. I really am so grateful.
Hey, man, we grateful. We honored to have you, man. You're such a talented cat, man, and we're gonna dive right in, right? You got this compelling project, the relationship experiment.
Yeah.
Now, this is something that's, to my knowledge, has never been done. But I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag. I'm going to let you kind of elaborate on it, man. But tell everybody watching the show a little bit about the relationship experiment and how did that come about, man?
Well, I really wanted to develop a film that really kind of grabs you and like kind of really make you think and have you to put your focus on something. And so I know relationships has been hard.
Right.
And I know that a lot of times that we don't recognize what's going on. We know it's a lot of single women, a lot of single men.
Oh yeah.
What's going on, but the technology has played a big role in our thought process, and I think that has a lot to do with relationships now and why a lot of relationships are failing. And then we trying to deal with that, and people are lying. You know what I'm saying? For everybody got a game, got agendas. Nobody's being real. People cheating. It's just a whole lot of stuff. And so it was just like I wanted to mix those two together: truth and showing how technology has warped our brains. So what would happen if you can only tell the truth about what you're doing? Would you be with that person? Can you be with that person? And right. So the relationship experiment is just that: 6 couples enter a house. And they go through a series of tasks, but they got to be honest about everything. And if they don't, it's shocking consequences. You understand what I'm saying?
So where did they get shocked?
Around the neck.
Ooh,
that hurts.
The most vulnerable place.
Most vulnerable place. So once, so I think it don't take but once to get shocked to know that you got to really tell the truth. You can't be in there playing. And so that's the whole experiment, so that the audience can see what would life be like if we really just told the truth. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? How would that look like? You know what I'm saying? Could you be with that person? This is the reason why people lie. You see what I'm saying? So right. I wanted to really get into that true nature of humans and human thought patterns and behavior. And then still make people aware that, hey man, technology has stopped us from actually doing what we used to do back in the day.
Facts.
We used to have to go out and meet women. Yeah. Talk. Yeah. Not just text. Engage. We had to do that, So a lot of that's gone now, man.
Yeah. That's interesting, man. And it's funny how you mentioned that, because communication now, it's a lost art, man. Yeah. Everybody, I understand the element of text messaging and that, but sometimes, picking up the phone and just tapping in and hearing a voice, exchanging energy and emotion. That part. Right? That's what we did back in the day. When we really wanted to holler, we hollered in the best way possible, right? And I got to remind everybody watching the show, the pandemic is over, okay? God bless everybody. We went through a tough time with the COVID and all this stuff, but the pandemic is over. It's time to get back to doing some things normal, like, in-person auditions.
Right, that part.
In-person meetings.
That in a while.
Everything ain't got to be remote. I'm just saying. I know it comes in handy. Right. I'm not hating. I'm just saying, though. Right. Pump the brakes on everything having to be done virtually. Right. Thank you for being in the studio, by the way. Right. I wasn't going to do this interview from you and the ATL, and I'm here.
Yeah.
You're doing too many big things, and we got too much of a history, right?
That's real talk.
But back to your project. Was there anything in your past, in terms of your relationship history, that kind of planted the seed or motivated you to write this project? Because you're not only the writer, you directed the project, you're also the editor of the project. You pretty much, was a one-man army with this. So tell me, did anything motivate you relationship-wise from the past to kind of give you an idea to do this?
Well, it's mostly because I'm an observer. I'm a participator a little bit on the planet, but I'm mostly an observer. So I'm looking and just seeing the change and the shift.
Right.
And I just felt like it's a responsibility of me being able to actually have to be clear to go off and study these things. So it's really important for me to kind of explain those things too. And so I felt like this was a great opportunity to kind of show people like, hey man, this is what's going on. This is one of the reasons why women and men are not really together like they used to be,
Right.
Women getting money, and then you got the influence of the internet saying I'm a boss bee and now everybody want to be that. And so, the internet has a real significant role on the women's psyche, and until they're able to understand that and not be influenced by it, they're going to be subject to it. And being subject to it is some of the consequences that we're finding now when it comes to relationships. So that's why I really wanted to kind of put a movie out where they can see it in real time. You know what I'm saying?
That's deep, boy. You hit the nail on the head. Just the explanation over here sound like a relationship therapist in the easy. Okay, Country, I see you, man.
Hey, man.
Hey, let's pivot to the comedian Rod, man, because he's in the film. Talk to me how you grabbed him to get involved, and also just talk to me about that friendship with Rod, man.
Yeah, man. Me and Rod, man, we met out here in L.A., so we've been cool for a long time.
He's been in the game a long
time, but that's my favorite comedian.
Shout out to Rod, man.
Right, yeah, shout out to Rod, man. That dude, funny. I promise you he is,
Yeah.
So he was performing in Atlanta, and I said, I'm going to go holler at my boy, you know what I'm saying, because I ain't seen him in a while. He here. So we went back into the dressing room, we was talking, and I said, hey, man, I want to put you in a movie, man. You should have been in a movie by now. You should have, You know what I'm saying? He was like, yeah, I know Countrified. I said, man, let me do it. Let me put you in a movie. So I kind of wrote some of the motivation for me to even write the movie. Now, I had the agenda to do it, but he gave me the motivation to go ahead and get started on it because I wanted to put him in it. You know what I'm saying? And so he came in, and I coached him on how to, what I was looking for, and he did a great job, man, and we about to have the premiere, and he gonna love it, man. And I hope that it just catapults him to continue to just get into more movies because the dude's talented, man.
That's dope, man. Tell everybody watching the show, what is the anticipated release date for the film? Where can they watch it? Things of that nature. And I know you may not have the exact date yet, but can you give our viewers watching maybe just an estimated time of arrival?
I'm thinking maybe like August. Somewhere like that, maybe like mid to late August.
Okay.
But the networks, I would be still pitching it, so I don't really know yet, like where it would actually land up. But at the very least, it'll be a Tubi movie if I don't get it on anything else,
Yeah.
We can just safely say Tubi at the least.
Yeah, I mess with Tubi. Tubi cool.
Yeah, Tubi got
a lot of people mess with Tubi.
Tubi got a lot of stuff going. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of big things. So that's what I'm saying. I ain't saying it as if it's. I'm just saying that I know they're a platform that welcomes artists like myself. So it ain't they don't have. It don't seem as complicated as getting with Netflix or some of these other places. So I'm gonna try to. Look into that and see first, and then if not,
Right. I hear you, man. That's dope.
Yeah.
Talk to me about developing the project, because you basically a one-man army. You're a one-man wrecking crew.
Yeah.
Was there nights or moments where you questioned yourself or said, wow, this is a lot. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this. I know you can do it, and I know you know that, but did you ever have any reservations in the back of your mind that was like, man, how long is this going to take, or is this ever going to get done?
It was a whole lot, because I had to do the casting, I cooked the food. I did everything.
You was the chef too?
Yeah, the chef too, everything, man. So it was a lot, but I knew it was a challenge that I wanted. I wanted to see if I was able to kind of do a film just by myself. Something that would take 20 people to do. I want to see, can I really do it by myself? Because I've been in the industry so long, I've learned so much, and you've been in the industry longer, so you even know. So I just wanted to challenge myself to see if I can do it. So it was some nights where I was like, man, this is a whole lot, bro. I'm going crazy, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like, this is the challenge that I want. I have to finish it. I have to go at it. But I wanted to challenge myself and see who I was as a person. So I shot the whole movie in 6 days. You know what I'm saying? But I had everything planned out, you know what I'm saying? I had everything laid out, everything organized so that so that the people coming in, it wasn't hard for them to understand what I wanted, and we got what we needed. And
so this is a full feature.
Full feature.
90 minutes.
Yeah, hour 35.
Okay.
So that's it. Yeah. So we ready though. It's gonna be something to kind of at least give you the idea of what's going on with the dating world now. People trying to find love, man, and love done change, and we need to really tap into why it's changed.
Right. And you know what's so deep about this whole scenario too, man? I'm starting to think about this. 6 days, right?
Yeah.
You got people in a house and they can't lie. Otherwise, there's consequences.
Yes.
I'm sure you saw like a level of chemistry build up with some of these people.
Oh, yeah.
Now, are these people that are real couples, or are they people that are just portraying?
No real couples there. But I did want to get the chemistry together, so that's why we did a table read. Then we met up. You know what I'm saying, just so they can kind of get together with their couple. But then, like I say, over time of us, because we did it on the weekends. You know what I'm saying? So it was like 6 shoot days, but it was over a span of 3 weekends. You see what I'm saying? So we did it like that, but that gave them that chemistry when they saw each other again. It was all love.
Dope.
So you can feel the chemistry and the energy with some of them. You know what I'm saying?
Now, when you had the auditions, Country, did you have people in the room, or would they just send in a self-tape?
I had to do the self-tape.
Right, okay.
Because with doing so many things, I had to minimize, stuff like that.
Facts.
I couldn't just hold it. Yeah, so I did that, man, and I got the best people that I could. And a lot of people was, acting for the first time. Some had experience. But
some new faces.
Yeah, new faces, but they did a great job. Everybody put it down. I'm proud of that, man.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it, especially you got Rodman in there. I'm like, man, I know he gonna bring some laughs.
And he funny, bro. Now he funny. Every time I look at it, I be laughing at that dude, man. He really did a good job on the movie. But yeah, I think it's really good for people that's in love or just newly in love and really trying to see if that's somebody that they're gonna be in a long-term relationship. Somebody that's searching for love, so you can kind of also understand this type of stuff. You really got to focus on the fact that people are caught up in this matrix, and you got to deal with that as well. So if you kind of leave that out for the equation, then you'll find out later why this person ain't compatible.
Right. We got a clip, a trailer of the film, the relationship experiment. We're going to pull that up. Solomon, you got that handy? We're going to load that thing up and take a peek at it.
Yeah.
What's happening?
We have a chance at winning $10,000.
Still can't believe I allowed you to talk me into this.
Come on, babe. It'll be fun. I'm sure we'll learn a lot about each other and earn some money in the process.
In order for this to work, you must be completely honest about everything. Your intentions, your past, your thoughts, your insecurities. If you decide to participate, you will report to a location a week from today.
You mean tell me y'all can't lie about nothing and you supposed to stay together?
Honestly, or not, I'm gonna get that bag.
Okay.
Oh, this is nice, Hakeem. We're here to get the money, okay? So we can't let nothing get in between that. Understand?
You already know, Shawty. We can't throw in the bag under no circumstances.
So, what will happen if you lie?
Another great question. This is what will happen if you lie.
Things just got real.
Cheated during our relationship.
Really, Hakeem? My best fucking friend? You broke me, James.
You gonna disrespect me like that right in my fucking face?
See, that's why men ain't shit.
She's a boss at work, but a bitch, she comes home.
They only think I'm with one because he has money. But you are, right?
Friends,
No! Ah! You said some real hurtful things. And I know it's true because you're not getting shot.
This shit feels weird when there's no games to be played. When you can't do nothing but tell the truth. I didn't think this shit was gonna be like this. You feel me?
I just should have knew them white folks weren't handing out 10 bands for nothing.
Okay. I'm not mad at that. All right, Country. I see how you coming with it.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I like that, man.
Yeah.
That's dope. It looks good too, man.
Thanks, man. Yeah.
Production looks good.
Yeah. I had a camera guy that his name's Tim Taylor. He's fresh out of school, man. He's an older gentleman now. He ain't a young kid.
Yeah.
But he went to school for filmmaking, and he fresh out, and he contacted me like, yo, I'm your cameraman. And he was great. He was there every day, and he was a professional guy. We got the shots we needed and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool, man. So just to see how things really unfold is what I'm in it for. Just to see how it all unfolds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And man, they never let me down. The guys never let me down, bro. Whatever it is, I'm supposed to be doing some kind of way it works out. You know?
Right.
I love it. You know
the laws of the universe fell into place for it, man.
I'm in a real way.
Yeah.
Real way.
That is dope, man. I'm excited. Y'all watching the show, The Relationship Experiment. Make sure y'all support this project when it drops. My man Countrified is doing big things. Speaking of big things, Wody, we gonna pivot to the music, man, because you've been doing music for a long time. I've heard a lot of your bangers in the past, man, and you got a new project, 35 and Up.
Yeah.
Break that down for everybody watching the show. What is the meaning behind the title? And give me an idea of what the vision is for you with this record.
Well, see, I know hip hop is 50 now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's like we've been listening to hip hop for 50 years and there's nothing else for us to listen to. But see, you got a lot of the younger generation that's putting out music and stuff, and it's stuff that I know I can't relate to. And I know some of the older hip hop musical people cannot relate to because we don't do some of the things that the younger people are talking about. You understand what I'm saying? So I feel like we need it. It needs to be some type of hip hop, some type of fresh stuff that is targeting our age group. You know what I'm saying? 35 and up. So that's why I felt like I needed to do this project to really have some music that really that we can relate to as well. So not just so much you got an older guy rapping, because if I'm rapping about the same stuff that they rapping about as young dudes, then I'm just an older dude rapping. Yeah. But I need to tap into what we substance that we can relate to and we can gravitate to. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I chose to do this album, and right now I have it titled 35 and Up. So because that's the demographics, you know what I'm saying? That's who I really want to be targeting and have us to like really listen to that music, have it on the radio and have our own concerts and stuff, like really that. Yeah. That, have that genre, that OG rap, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, it's much needed.
Yeah, much needed, because we can't keep. And that's one of the reasons why you see a lot of the older artists coming back out with albums again. All the older rappers, they coming back out, and I predicted that because it's like, how long are we just going to sit around and listen to young kids? You know what I'm saying? It's like, and we not feeling, we not relating to it. I wouldn't say. I ain't saying that all the young music are bad or anything like that. I'm just saying that it's kind of, some of it is harder for us to relate to because we don't do those things.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. When do you anticipate that dropping, man?
Probably later.
Next year?
Yeah, well, because now that I'm done with the movie, I can start concentrating on it now.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm working on it now. I'm like 5 songs in. I haven't recorded them, but I wrote them already. So I'm 5 songs in, but I'm thinking like the winter time, like early winter, like October, November time.
Okay.
I should be ready to kind of go.
Okay, November. That's Scorpio season, player. That's birthday month.
Okay,
I might have to get on that thing, man. Up,
Hey, you got the boo. You got the boo. Yeah, we did a song together. I've been rapping with Mack B. He got got rapping skills. Yeah, it is. Yeah. So we
go way back, like a hacky sack, man.
For real, man. For real.
My OG, man. Yeah. OG love.
Yeah. So, but I'm excited about this project, man. It's sounding pretty good right now. And so, but I've been rapping for 40 years. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like I want to make sure that I show the seasoning that I've attained over the years when I put it into this album. So I got some real deep stuff that's going on, but it's also enjoyable. So.
That's dope, man. That's dope. I don't know if it's been 10 years because time just be moving, but you relocated from Hollywood, from LA to the ATL to Atlanta. Has it been 10 years, Coach?
It's been 11, actually.
11. Damn.
11, yeah, man.
Time just be moving at the speed of light, right?
Yeah, man.
Right. Talk to me about the dynamic, man, between ATL, the Dirty South, Georgia, which is a booming market for film and entertainment. It has been for quite some time.
Right.
And the OG, old school, vintage Hollywood scene, man. So two different places. I know they have some similarities, but talk to me about that transition of leaving the West Coast, the warm weather all the time, going out to the, down to the South. And I know you're from South Carolina, right? We'll touch on that here in a minute. But tell me about the dynamic between Georgia and Atlanta versus Hollywood and Cali.
Yeah, that's a good question. Hollywood is very, they dot their I's and cross their T's a little bit more, but that's a union. Cali is a union state.
Right.
So they have pressure to do right, and that causes them to even be more professional. So you have a more professional environment in Hollywood.
Right.
Due to that. Now, Atlanta, Georgia, they have a lot of things going on down there too, but it's a right to work state. So they can do different things down there that they can't do in California. So that can make things a little less lax. You might have people that, don't really know what they're doing off top because you don't have to be in the union to do some of the stuff,
Yeah.
So it works. And sometimes you do have Hollywood people down there working as well, so you got a mixture of things. They make it work some kind of way, but it seems to be more professional in Hollywood. But then it lacks diversity in Hollywood too, and being a black man, if you really can appreciate having other black or minority people in production, it's just a black city altogether too.
Yeah.
So you can kind of feel that camaraderie that, you got a black mayor, a black president of this, and, like that you doing production. There's a lot of black people working there, and all the makeup and hair artists, they black. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you can feel that down in Atlanta. So you got that, but
whole nother dynamic.
It's a whole nother dynamic. But it's like a junior high to the high school. Hollywood is kind of like the high school. I say it's kind of like a junior high.
Right.
It's a lot of people that's still trying to get into what they want to do there, and some of them haven't had a lot of experience. But Cali, you got to put in work sometimes before you can get some of these positions. See? Yeah.
Okay. Well, I go to ATL all the time because I got family down there.
Family.
So
yeah.
Shout out to the fam, my twin sister, my son,
my
daughter-in-law. I got family down there. So I love the city, man. It's definitely dope.
Yeah.
Definitely growing.
Yeah.
A booming market.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, let's pivot to South Carolina, where you're from. Growing up in South Carolina, what was that experience like for you, man, when you were younger, and how that maybe molded you into who you are now? Let's talk about that element regarding South Carolina and all the things you endured and experienced before you hopped into your next chapter.
Yeah, I left at 18 and joined the Marine Corps, but growing up, it was a great experience. Like I was never the most popular person, but I was known. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that was cool. I got along with everybody, and so me being a Libra, I realized the power of balance when I was growing up. Because I'm from a little small town, and man, we got 2 different high schools in that small little county, and they was rivalries. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So Lawrence and Clinton, so it was what they would call. So I was born in Clinton, but I was back and forth from Lawrence and Clinton. You see, but they didn't like each other. But since I lived in both places, I was able to see both sides and experience both sides. Because people up there, they don't know about how the culture and how people work down here and vice versa.
Yeah.
But to be able to see both, then you can kind of, overstand the whole process, And I think that kind of set me off to be balanced and to see both sides of things.
Right.
And want to do that and kind of live my life and observe it from that point of view.
Interesting. Interesting. Now, you do go back occasionally, right?
Yeah.
Has it changed a lot since you were younger, or is it still kind of
It's still
the same?
kind of same. Yeah. I mean, a little bit. I mean, everything that changed a little bit with the
times.
Times and technology.
Yeah.
You know, you got different buildings up now that wasn't back when you was little and stuff. I'm going there this weekend. Actually, tomorrow I'm gonna be heading back there to see my mom.
Shout out to the fam.
Yeah. But it's still pretty much the same. You know, same place, same mentality. You see the same people. Sometimes they still doing the same thing. So it's
right.
It's the country, man.
But that's how you became countrified.
Countrified.
You became countrified, right?
I love it, yeah. So, and I always like to go home and just reflect too. You know?
Yeah.
Because I'm definitely country. I don't change it. I ain't changing that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, I just want to just be a go-getter, man, and just kind of just be a motivational piece for others and try to get us all to overstand.
Right. Understood, and I overstand.
There it is.
There it is. Already. Let's talk about the Marines, man. First of all, salute to you, King, for service to the country, man, and putting your life on the line. Walk our viewers through that experience of being in the military, being a leader of men, being a soldier, man, having the courage to do that. And also, we had so many stories that we've traded over the years. I think you were in Guam or Japan or somewhere.
It was Okinawa, Japan.
Okay, and you were a promoter, man. You used to put parties together.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, I never thought about joining the military, but if you happened to join around the time Countrified was up in there and you got to experience some of his little events, you were blessed. Highly favored and blessed. So tell everybody about that experience, man.
Yeah, that was the best experience of my life. It really kind of helped put me in a position where I had the confidence to kind of go off and do my thing when I got to Hollywood.
Yeah.
So being in Camp Pendleton, California is where I was first stationed at.
Yeah.
But I always, once I left from my mom's house and left South Carolina, and I joined the military and I joined so I can go to Hollywood. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was my reason for joining.
You had a vision.
Yeah, I was like, man, that's the only way I can get to from South Carolina to California is if I join the military. So the man said he'll send me, so I signed up. So going out there, this was my first time. So now I'm studying me, trying to find out who I really am. And one thing I discovered is that I don't like to wait on somebody to get to do stuff for me. I'll do it myself after a while. So I created my own environment. So if I needed somewhere to perform, I don't need to try to contact the venue. I'm gonna throw a cookout and I'm gonna have everybody come out there and I'm gonna get on the mic. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I created my own environment from the jump. So I started off throwing parties in my barracks room. Then we moved to barbecues, and then we moved off base where we started throwing pajama parties, players balls.
Man.
I was doing all
I wish
that.
I would have got that call.
Man,
I didn't know you at that time.
It was, I know, right? But it was
double
crazy.
trouble.
It was crazy. It would have been for sure. And then I moved, and then I was stationed over in Okinawa, Japan, and then I continued the parties over there. So I kind of had the opportunity to work with some guys in California, and they was stationed over there too where I was at. So they was able to just kind of fall back in with me, and we create some of these parties. So it was great. It was so much I had to leave because I was about to get in trouble.
Oh man, that was my next question, man. I'm like, were you disciplined? Was there repercussions for these events for turning up? Like
it was because they were looking for me. The only thing that saved me was my nickname was Big Country back then, and they didn't know Big Country and Corporal Webman was the same person.
Okay.
So they just knew the military name and they knew the nickname, but they couldn't connect them together.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? And so my master gun was like, yo, you gotta leave. You know what I'm saying? You gotta leave. I did a ladies lockup. So I had some male strippers, come out and strip on the island, and that was way too much.
Oh man.
And then I had a ladies lockup. A male lockup where I had ladies come out, and that's when I really had to go.
Oh.
I was doing way too much.
Creating havoc out there.
But that was my last year. I was about to get out anyway. So
right.
That was, so it was fun though.
Right. That's dope.
I wouldn't trade them days for that, man. That was a great time.
Right. And speaking of just traveling abroad and doing big things, man, Walk our viewers through your experience, man, how you connected with Bone, particularly Crazy Bone, who I know you're tight with.
Yeah.
You kind of served as like a road manager for them for a brief period of time.
It was a European tour that we was putting together, but
you also performed, right?
Yeah, I performed. I was the opening act for it, and I was the road manager. So basically, it was I met Crazy on a commercial shoot, and then they was doing the Bone Thugs and Harmony movie, I think. I had got casted for that, but I didn't get to do the role, but I got casted for it, so I got back on set. And then I reconnected with Crazy Bone. So he was kind of cool from there, and we did some songs together and stuff like that. But he took me to Korea with him, so we was out there in Korea doing some things. And then when I went to Amsterdam, I had met this young lady out there, and she knew the promoter. So it turns out that Bone was trying to do that particular tour 2 years ago. But the big wigs all at the studios and all that, they couldn't agree. You know, I guess too many egos was probably in the play or whatnot, and so it didn't go down. So when my homegirl found out about it, you know, that I know Bone, she knew the promoter, and she was like, "Hey, I now got a friend that know Bone. Them, you want to try to do it again?" But see, I had to go through some stuff and co-sign for them in order for us to do it because they didn't do it 2 years ago.
Yeah,
they done put up all the posters and all this other stuff, and they was promoting it for the fans, and then it didn't go through. So now the credibility had to be restored.
Right.
And so I co-signed for that because she knew me and she knew him and she knew what type of person I was, and I told her I know them and I can get them over there. But it took a year to get it to pop off.
Yeah.
So
you was negotiating the whole thing?
Yeah, the whole thing. I had videos of them and sending over there of them talking. They ain't even want nothing written. They wanted to see it.
Wow.
So so a lot of that went down, but I got all that on my documentary.
That's heavy, man.
If you type in the Countrified documentary or whatever, it'll pop up. You'll see all the stuff that we talked about.
That's dope, man.
The whole tour with Bone and everything. But that was a great time, and that was another challenge. You know, that was another challenge that I wanted because I grew up listening to them and just being a fan of theirs, and now I'm like, hey, man, I'm really responsible for these dudes, and I'm performing with them. You know what I'm saying? And you know, that's a group that I, you know, was like highly into when I was young. So it was all fascinating, but a challenge at the same time that I wanted to make sure that I accomplished, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it went off without a hitch.
Wow, that's dope.
We went to different countries. We was all out there in Europe with it, you know.
How long were you on the road with them overseas?
It was like a month, about 5 weeks.
Okay, wow, that's a long time.
Yeah, because we had shows here and then a couple there and then, stay a couple days here and stuff like that. So it was wild. So we had a ball out there.
That's dope. That's dope.
I was so glad to have that experience too.
Yeah. Shout out to Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Sure.
Greatest hip hop group of all time.
Yes.
Definitely top 5.
Yeah.
But I think they're the greatest hip hop group of all time with the melodies and just the chemistry and what they do. Yeah. They recently signed to Greenback Records. Shout out to Conor McGregor, who signed Bone Thugs and Harmony to Greenback Records. All 5 members are together. They got some new music coming. Yeah. Lazy Wish, Flesh, Crazy. I can't wait. You know, I can't wait to hear everything that's going down with Bone. But that's an incredible story that you shared, man, and that's dope, man. That's a lifetime experience because you not only were part of the negotiations, you also had to put your artist hat on.
Right.
Then you had to do like more behind the scenes, the producer and promoter, and wow.
But see that's the same thing as doing that.
Applies with the movie,
Yeah, it's like I wanted that challenge. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you can't really identify who you is and what you about if you don't accept some of these challenges to see where you at. See if you can accomplish it. If it's too overwhelming, then maybe you can do something a little bit less. But you still need to if you got to welcome those challenges that's in front of you to see who you are. And you know what I'm saying? I just really needed to do that for me to see if I can pull it off.
Yeah.
And yes, sir. Yeah.
That's dope, man.
Yeah, man.
What an experience, man, to be around some legends like that, man, and to, you know, not only to do it, but to do it abroad.
Right.
It wasn't even in the U.S.
Right.
So you going to places where, you know, English isn't the first language.
Right.
You know, and things of that nature, man. And
real, it was definitely something though. Yeah,
wow,
I had to really stay focused, man. So, but it worked, and
right.
I'm so grateful for that. You know, that I was able to get that to work, man. But yeah. Life been good, man. It's been really good. I've been able to do a lot of stuff. You know, I wrote a few books and stuff, so I did that, so I can kind of put that out there to people, man. But I just try to stay productive and just really on my mission.
Yeah, you're doing a hell of a job, man, and we're gonna pivot to sports. You know, this is Sports Hop Media,
yes, sir. Yes,
I would be remiss if we don't touch on some sports.
Yeah, it is.
You know, the Lakers, you know, they fell off the wagon a little early, and they're on vacation until next season, so I'm a little disappointed in that. But they lost to a dominant Minnesota team, and basketball, football, baseball, I love all three. What do you like amongst the three the best?
Football, my game.
Football. Who's your team?
I'm a Steeler.
Okay, the Steelers.
Yeah.
Because you used to steal them hearts on that military base. That's how you became a Steeler fan, ain't it? Talk to me, Wody.
Man, yeah, well, you know what it is. But yeah, I love Steelers, though. Yeah, I've been a Steeler fan for a while. Yeah, man.
Ever since you was younger?
Ever since I was younger, yeah. I got that. My older brother, he don't even remember now. But he liked the black and yellow, and he was a Steeler fan. And so I kind of wanted to be a Steeler fan because he was. And I liked the black and yellow a little bit.
Yeah.
And so, so I kind of stopped at that. Because, you know, South Carolina, we didn't have a team. Carolina Panthers only like, 20 years old or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They weren't around
They weren't around. So most of my family Cowboy fans.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? America's team, since we didn't have one.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But,
now, did you play football when you was in high school?
Yeah. I played for Lawrence and Clinton a little bit, both of the little rivalry towns. But then I also played a little bit in the Marine Corps. Yeah.
Oh, really?
They got a team.
They had a team.
Yeah, they got it. Yeah, they got it. They got a team as well. It's an instrumental league, and then they got the All Marines.
Okay.
So the All Marines is, I guess, like the best out of the league that they have. You know what I'm saying? And then I guess those are the ones that go around and travel and do all that. I wasn't that good. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't doing none of that. But I did pretty good with just playing. Yeah.
Right. That's dope, man. That's hella dope. And shout out to all the athletes worldwide competing, training, you know, overcoming injuries. You know, sports brings people together, man. I always said entertainment, film ventures, sports, they have like commonality, right? Because they bring people together from all different backgrounds, walks of life. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, really. You know, is bringing value to people and trying to just, you know, increase the peace out here, man. Because, you know, things ain't always what they should be. You feel me?
Right. But I also want to say, man, is how proud I am of you of like some of them big interviews you've landed, you know, because like I said, we've been friends for over 20 years.
Yeah,
so
man.
I knew him when he didn't even think, it wasn't even a podcast. There wasn't no such thing as a podcast, you know what I'm saying? But from that to me hearing you talking about it and seeing you transitioning and all the years of you going to these Super Bowls and really landing some of these big interviews, man, like you was talking to the champions, you know what I'm saying? You talking to some big wigs on there, you know what I'm saying? Some real good things, and your resume is impeccable what you're doing, but see, it just really, just seeing them flowers blooming. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Seeing that you still it's continue to elevate what you're doing, and you're not stagnant, you know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, man, I just wanted to just tell you about that, and just the whole thing is just looking so great, you know, the show, with the podcast, man, you very knowledgeable about sports, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you got a great delivery and stuff like that. So yeah, I enjoy that, man. But I haven't been watching the playoffs that much this year.
You've been busy though.
I've been busy, so I haven't had a real chance to kind of like tap in. But from your perspective and the way they've been out there, who do you think will wind up at the big dance?
Yeah, that's
if you had to, because it could be a little upsets here and there, because I do know every team is kind of balling right now.
Yeah.
From what I'm hearing, everybody's good. But if you had to kind of predict.
That's a great question, man. And you know, this is going to surprise a lot of people, but based on the fact that the Celtics currently are down 2-0 against the Knicks. By the time this show airs, hopefully Boston will grab a game, but I actually want the Knicks to advance because New York Knicks have not won a title I think since 1967 or 1972, something like that. It's been over 50 years.
Right.
So New York fans have been just hungry to see something happen. So shout out to Tom Thibodeau and the Knicks for what they're doing. So I think the Knicks are going to actually beat the Celtics, and then they're going to beat the winner of the Pacers versus the Cavaliers. Right now, the Pacers are up. They up 2-0, right? So I think the Knicks are going to come out of the East. I never would have thought I'd say that a couple months ago. And out the West, which is a lot more complicated, I really liked Golden State before Steph Curry had that hamstring injury, which happened the other night. So shout out to Steph. We hope you have a quick recovery and get back out on the floor. But now that Steph has been injured, I still think Golden State is dangerous, but I like, I'll be honest with you, I like the Nuggets. I like their swag ever since they fired their coach.
Okay.
Mike Malone, who was a great coach, right? Outstanding coach. They fired this man three games before the end of the regular season.
Oh, wow.
Right when they were going to go into the playoffs.
Right.
I even questioned the move. But Adelman, the interim coach, his father was Rick Adelman, who was a longtime legendary coach in the NBA, coach for many years, many decades. So shout out to Coach Adelman in Denver for bringing the team together, keeping the focus. They seem like they're having more fun out there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Jokic is a beast. Nikola Jokic, who is the MVP in my book. So I think the Nuggets, they're currently tied with the Thunder.
Okay.
Again, by the time this show airs, it may be Thunder up 2-1 or Nuggets go back to Denver and take the advantage. But nonetheless, I think the Nuggets are going to come out of the Western Conference. I think the Knicks are going to come out of the East, and you're going to have the Nuggets and the Knicks playing.
Okay.
Got a nice little ring to it. Nuggets and Knicks.
Right.
Knicks and Nuggets, right?
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see, but I think that would be a cool finals to watch because no one ever saw it coming.
Right, okay.
And that's the beauty of sports, right? Because you have upsets, you have teams that were not supposed to be there, but they got in the big dance.
Right.
And they just gelled at the right time. So I personally believe the Nuggets will come out of the West and the Knicks are coming out of the East. My pick, by the way, 4 months ago was I thought the Oklahoma City Thunder were going to come out of the West.
Yeah.
And they still have a chance to do that.
Okay.
But now the way I see the Nuggets are playing and they stole that first game from the Thunder, man, I know Denver got the brakes beat off them last night and lost by 40 to the Thunder.
Yeah.
But I still like the Nuggets and the new coach and the new regime in Denver. I think they've got momentum. I think the Knicks are on a roll defensively. Jalen Brunson, shout out to you, brother. I love you, man. I love your game. I just love your competitive zest. But that's the answer to the question, man. I think it's Nuggets from the West, Knicks coming out of the East.
Okay, all right. I can rock with that.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, man, make a lot of sense. That's why I asked the professional on it. 'Cause I haven't been up on it, so I need to kind of see how you think it would play out, because I value what you got to say on that, you know. So,
I appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
But you've also had a good reason why you ain't been able to watch, because you flew to the West Coast and landed a guest star role on a major show. We won't let the cat out of the bag yet. But, you know, tell everybody watching what kind of character you portrayed in this without giving it all away. And how was that experience? You were on set yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, I was had a great time on set, you know.
Yeah.
The role was allowing me to kind of like really get into my emotional side a little bit.
Dope.
So I was playing a prisoner, and I was basically sharing my story of being an addict with some other prisoners, you know, and just really kind of tapping into that type of person, you know. And yeah, so it was fun. Allowed me to stretch a little bit, get it in, come out here and, you know, see Cali and just do what I've been doing for years, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, now look, Mac been on a lot. I know Mac is he's doing a lot of stuff too. This dude here is big time as well. I know he's humble, and he you know, he's interviewing me right now, but just y'all know this my boy for real, and Matt been doing it longer than I have. I ain't gonna. That's what it is for real. And the thing that I really loved about this dude right here, man, when we first met, he was already doing speaking lines. I was still an extra. You know what I'm saying? I was just still trying to get find my way. But he was already on. You see what I'm saying? But he clicked with me. Me and him was cool. He never tried to be like I'm some Hollywood star with lines and you just an extra.
Yeah.
So I ain't gonna rock with you. It was never that, man. And I just, bro, I appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
From just the bottom of my heart that that you wasn't on some ego type stuff when it came to you and me. You see what I'm saying? And then since then, me and him done did TV shows together. You know what I'm saying?
Commercials together.
Commercials. So I mean, he been doing it longer than me, man. And like I say, this dude here has been in a lot of stuff, and he's a grinder too, just like I am. You're a grinder, bro. And people like that can't be stopped. So you might want to continue to tell a friend about this sports house because this dude got it. Really.
Yeah. Thank you, man. I appreciate your words, brother. Love you, man.
No doubt, love you too.
Much love, man. And
sir.
For everybody watching the show, let them know where they can find you, Country, and support your movement. Not just the movie, but your acting grind, your music grind, everything you got, your book grind, because you're an author as well. Yeah. Tell them where they can tap in on social media, online to find you.
Hey, I got a lot of stuff at countrified.org. But
spell that out for them.
COUNTRIFIED.org. O-R-G. Go there. My website has everything on it. Documentaries, music videos. The fact that I work with kids on a lot of different things with kids. My movie reel. You can see some of the movies and TV shows I've been on. I'm Countrified Cornelius Wedman on Facebook, Instagram, Countrified_Wedman. So those are just different ways to tap in. But the main thing, if you go to the website, countrified.org, you'll be able to tap in and see everything about me on there.
Okay. I like that. And you already know with your player partner, Mac B, tap in on the gram at Mac B, MACK, as in boy, _, at Sports Hop Media, all one word, Sports Hop Media. Episode 57 is in the books. Countrified is on the couch.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time.
Yes, sir.
By the way, subscribe. Hit that like button, subscribe on YouTube. We appreciate the love. Thanks for watching Sports Hop. For all the latest news on hip hop and sports, subscribe here and keep it locked. It's your boy Mac B.